This video is about the current experimental features that are under development for Minecraft. I am talking about the villager rebalancing, and I have 3 simple ideas that I think address some glaring issue with the villagers. But first of all, a recap of what's changed so far. There have been 2 phases, in the first of which we saw librarians undertake new book trades based on what biome the villager is from. The second phase reworked the trades of the armourer, as well as giving the cartographer 7 new maps they can sell to the player. These have the locations of 5 different types of village, as well as the witch hut and jungle temple. And this image from Nembom, one of the developers of the game, shows you how it all works. Based on what location you're in, trading with that cartographer will give you the maps that it's linked to by the arrows. It feels like Mojang are using these changes to enhance the adventure and exploration aspect of the game, but specifically allowing players to go on those adventures knowing they're going to arrive at their destination. And future rebalancing of other villagers could make this even more interesting, as other aspects of their trades could relate to biomes too. This could create a lot of interconnectivity, as a player who really wants to get invested in the villagers will do a lot of travelling and exploring through their Minecraft world. I personally find these changes to be quite interesting. I think they're going to make a better experience for villagers overall. However, change always stirs controversy, and there is outrage among a player base who like the villagers the way that they are. So let's go back to the origin of that problem. This takes us back to April 2019, when 1.14, the Village and Pillage update, dropped with massive changes to the villagers. This included the now 7 sets of villager skins, which are based on which biome the villager is from. The mason profession was added, and all of the trades were overhauled from top to bottom. Of course, this is where those overpowered trades like mending books from librarians were first introduced. And this led to some angered discussion of the time, claiming that these changes were OP, that they would break the game and make it all too easy. And because this issue hasn't been addressed in the 4 years since these changes were made, a player base has actually grown now that are accustomed to these trades and like them. It allows them to bypass certain aspects of the survival and enchanting grind and focus on other aspects of the game instead. They are now seen by some as a time saver and a convenience, and so by leaving these trades this way for over 4 years, Mojang have created a difficult task for themselves as they want to rebalance this system, which is undoubtedly going to upset those players that have become accustomed to it. And the ideas that I'm going to present in this video don't address that either. There is potential for this player base to get left behind with these changes. And in taking notes for this video, I did stumble across a half idea that might help with the problem. Minecraft's easy, normal and hard mode almost feels redundant, as not a lot of the game is tied to it, but maybe villager trades could. I think it is unlikely they would maintain an entirely set of different trades on each difficulty level for these villagers, but perhaps the difficulty level influences the amount of trades that you can make or how much they cost. If you're playing on easy, they cost less emeralds. If you're playing on hard, they cost more. But that's not what this video is about. The discussion around villager rebalancing has illuminated some of the difficulties of dealing with them, and this has led me to come up with 3 really simple, intuitive ideas that will make a massive difference to dealing with villagers. The issues that they address are transporting villagers over long distances, the unintuitive breeding methods for creating new villagers, and working with how they move around in small spaces. Idea number 1 is my favourite. It is to use the new camel mob to transport villagers. The camel can of course move 2 players at a time. I thought it would be great if when you hopped on a camel, if a villager was nearby, it would automatically know to go to the camel and hop on. Then when the player dismounts, it would choose to get off the camel as well. An important detail here is that only 1 villager would try and get on the camel at any one time. This would be potentially really easy to learn for the player, as they find a camel inside of a desert village, and quite likely they'll then learn that a villager will want to hop on the camel with them. Now this could get annoying if there wasn't a little bit of breathing space, so I think the player should be able to sit on the camel for, let's say, 10 to 15 seconds before a villager will actually try and get on the camel with them. So this will add another functionality to the camel, which is great, but its main utility would be to transport villagers over long distance. Once you got a villager on the back of the camel, you can go as far as you want, and then when you get off, the villager's going to pop off too. Now, if you're heading to the jungle or the swamp because you want to breed a new village type, well, you're going to have to take 2 with you. So that means 2 trips on the camel. However, I think I got a way to address this with the 3rd idea in this video. For now, let's get to idea number 2, breeding the villagers. Breeding currently involves beds, villagers, throwing food at them, and other variables to get new villagers, and this is quite unintuitive and often leads to a bunch of contraptions that exploit and take advantage of this that might be a little out of the range of the average player. So without having to mess with this system, we can leave it in the game untouched. There is something really simple we could do. We can make breeding like it is for animals. Give one villager a piece of food, give the other one a piece of food, and then they can breed together. The problem is, of course, that when you right-click on a villager, you open up its GUI. Well, we can simply just code in an exception so that when you right-click on it with a carrot or a potato or a piece of wheat, whatever the food is they desire, it will not open up the GUI, put them into love mode with some particles, and then you can breed 2 of them together. And of course, the baby villagers type will be based on the biome it's in, so if you just brought 2 villagers a long distance to a swamp or a jungle, this easy intuitive breeding method would yield the baby villager that you want. Okay, now for idea number 3, which is to lure villagers with emeralds. This is a lot like the first idea because it's about transporting villagers, but this is more about moving them around in small spaces. Now, one of the things we don't want to see is a mass of villagers swarming to the emeralds that we're holding, like when you hold wheat in front of a crowd of cows. Again, this could be coded in a way where only 1 villager at a time will pay attention to the emerald you're holding. Or you could add in a different rule, like maybe only nitwits, villagers that don't have a profession, can be lured with emeralds. I like this idea a lot because it feels like you're going to be luring them to a workstation so that you can put them in a space and then make trades with them over and over again. But the goal of the emerald is just to have the villager follow you in a predictable way so that you can lure them to a particular spot. And how this ties up with the first idea of the camel is that you could hold an emerald when on the camel and when you've already got a villager in the back, and then that villager could follow you on your journey with the camel to a new biome. And this would be a really great way to bring 2 villagers to a new biome in one journey. Now, I think these ideas are great because they don't introduce any new GUIs or blocks. They're kind of tied to things that are already related to villagers. They should be easy to learn and intuitive to use. These ideas don't address the big concerns about the time these biome-oriented changes to villagers will take the player to complete, but they do make it far easier for those who want the challenge of creating jungle and swamp villages, as they won't be fighting the villagers themselves to achieve their goals. Making the villagers fun and friendly to control should be a big part of getting these biome changes right. And next, I'd also like to acknowledge there are some issues this video didn't address, like enchanting, anvil, and book combos with the repair cost. These are all issues that I think Mojang need to fix. And I was able to come to the conclusions with these ideas that I've had because there's been a lot of fantastic discussion around the changes to these villagers, which is why I'd encourage you to comment down below and let me know your thoughts on my ideas, and if you've got any of your own, please do share them. But that's it from me this video, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon with another one. Bye bye.